Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Tuesday, October 22nd. It is 6:20 right now. Market's gonna open in about 10 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a few things here to update and we should be good to go. And then we're good to go here. So, all right, let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Link sent out. Cool. So links are sent out. As people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking liquidity over here. Take this off. The price finally got back to where it needed to be. Going down to the 8-hour. Down to the 4-hour. Down to the 2-hour. Down to the 1-hour. Down to the 30-minute. Down to the 15-minute. Bunch of liquidity sitting up here up top. Down to the 10-minute. And it looks like we are good to go. Back down to the 1-minute here. And it looks like everything's pretty much marked up already. All right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, October 22nd. It is 6:24 right now. Market's going to open up in about 6 minutes. So I've marked up liquidity over here so far. Closest level of liquidity above is at 43,056. And the closest level of liquidity below is at 42,990. We have a bunch of different levels down here. So once we hit this first level, there's two more levels right below it. And then farther below that, we have two levels down here as well at 42,952 and another one right below it. Above this first level here at 43,056, we have another level up here at 43,098. We have another one right above it at 43,110. We have liquidity sitting up here, so that's going to be pretty much the first target if price climbs up any higher. First target right there. As price breaks through, this upper level of liquidity right there. So that's going to be the first target if price climbs to the upside. If price climbs to the downside, we have a bunch of liquidity over here, but I don't see any sessions down here. So just a bunch of liquidity down around that area. So we got market opening up in about 5 minutes, guys. I'll be posting the direction of the breakout in the Zoom chat shortly. So let's see who's here so far. Hey, Jonathan, morning. Morning, Glenn. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Jamie. Yeah, no, definitely, Jamie. There's a ton of liquidity all over the place. So looks like one direction or the other is likely to get hit, of course. That's what it's looking like. Hey, Adam. Morning. All right, guys, we got market opening up in about 5 minutes. I'll post the direction of the breakout in the chat shortly. Take a look at my market over here. Okay. So I sort of have an idea of like which direction I'm looking to take the breakout today. We'll see what happens here when market opens up, but you have a bit of an idea here. As we discussed yesterday, guys, we're going to take a look at the 629 candle. So I'll post the direction at 629, but depending on how the candle moves at the 629 candle, we'll see if if we might have to take it the other way. So just keep that in mind, guys. So I'll give you the direction of the breakout at 629. And if the candle starts moving very heavily, like more than 50 points, then I'll just say we're going to flip it. We'll do the opposite. Yes, Stanley said it's like the market knows your strategy. I know, right? It's annoying. It seems like it's always like that, Stanley, right? Like even before when I first created my first strategies, it seemed like the market started to understand what we were doing, which which always makes it a bit of a struggle. So I try to keep it as under the radar as possible. So guys, market's gonna open up shortly in about 3 minutes. Looks like people are still making their way in. All right. Hey, CJ, morning. So, all right, guys, good morning, everybody. Looks like majority of you guys are here so far. We have a few more people coming in. 627 right now. Market's going to open up in about 3 minutes. As you guys can see from the chart here, there's a lot of liquidity on both sides. We have liquidity above at 43,056. This is probably going to get hit pre-market. We have a higher level above that, 43,098. Then below here, we have liquidity below at 42,990. There's a bunch down here sitting around with it. I'm going to post the direction of the breakout in about 1 minute. As you guys know, we've been looking at these candles at 629. If the candle starts moving very heavily, more than 50 points, we may flip the direction. Hoping that's not going to be the case, and today's just a bit of a smoother day. So I'll be posting the direction of the breakout shortly. About 20 seconds till we can confirm the direction here. All right, guys. Direction of the breakout is posted. Now, so I posted the direction of the breakout in the Zoom chat, guys. If you guys are in the Zoom, market is going to open up in about 40 seconds. So it looks like a bit of a smoother day today. About 20 seconds till market open. Let that candle move again. All right, hold up, guys. We're going to flip it. So we're going to do the opposite. Market is now open. This thing moved more than 50 points, just like we talked about. Order filled. So we're in the position right now. Let it just spin here. All right. Also got set up here. I think we're good for the most part. All right, so the breakout's currently running right now. Let me zoom out from here for a little bit. Fix this. And this thing is like trying to get everything on one chart. Okay. There we go. Just wanted to get everything here on one chart, so it's like not spread out. So there goes the breakout right there. Currently running. We got really close to the TP and then it kind of pulled back a little bit. So there, it's currently running right now. Price is sitting at the sessions right now. See 629 candle, which was, or 630 candle, which is right there. Looks like the liquidity down below kind of got slightly triggered and then it pushed back up. So the TP right now is currently at 43,094 Madu. Right there. Yeah, this candle, it's been happening pretty much like almost every day for the past like 3, 4 days. The 629 candle over here, I'm gonna measure it real quick to get an idea of how much it moved from right there. So this thing moved from, yeah, this for sure met the criteria. It moved about 65 points. So the criteria was like 50 points. This thing was like way past it. Kind of same market conditions as like, the previous days. It kind of just kind of stayed flat a little bit. And I'll just let the trade run. Yeah, HP, that's what we said. So I don't know when you got into the group chat, but I said if the candle moves more than 50 points, we're going to flip it. So I said, I'm posting the direction at 629 and we're going to see how the candle moves at 629. If the candle moves more than 50 points, we're going to flip it. That's why right before the candle closed, I said we're flipping the position. That's why we're all in for a buy right now. So guys, you guys have to get into the chat earlier, guys. I know some of you guys try to straggle and get in here like, at the very last second. But if you guys want to know what's going on, you guys have to get on like pretty earlier. I'm not sure when you got in HP, but we talked about this yesterday about the candle that happens right before, because this is what's been happening for the past couple, weeks. Whenever a big candle happens right here, right before open on the 629, the price ends up going the opposite direction. So what we've done here is pretty much we've done the opposite of like what's been moving. So basically we'll have the direction by 629, but if the candle moves more than 50 points, we'll flip in the opposite direction. And that's why we're in for a buy right now. Because that's what happened on a Wednesday of last week, pretty much Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then yesterday. Market opened and then it kind of shot like in one direction right before market open. And then because of that situation, like for this 629 candle right here, because it went in the opposite direction so hard, it ended up basically like slingshotting back in the other direction because it became oversold at that point. Because they just came down super quickly. It's just something that's been happening lately. So we've obviously, adapted with the market and it's obviously, working in our favor here. So that's why we're going to keep doing it this way, at least until we figure out, how the market starts to smoothen out a little bit. But right now it's just a bunch of like, it's really just adapting with what we have at the moment. So if you guys are looking for some entries here for some market flow V2s, price is currently bullish right now with the buy signal. So if price does pull down a little bit, the entry is going to happen right here at the, let's see, the 43,050 mark. Nice. So Madu actually got out already. So Madu's out of the position. If you guys want to hold on to it, feel free to hold on to it. I'm going to hold on to it till full TP. But Madu over here pulled out early because his entry was a lot lower than ours. Or then I guess he just got in at better entry for the most part. So, oh, sorry, not Madu, Daniel. Sorry, both of your names are in red. I thought it was you, Madu, because I was talking to you earlier. So yeah, Daniel's actually out already. So Daniel said he's out full TP. His entry was 5 points lower than ours. Okay, nice work, Daniel. So if you guys are taking the market flow V2, entry is going to happen right here at the 50 mark. I would only go for 10 points right now because if you are looking to take it, I would only go for 10 points right now because of the current time. It's 6:36 right now. Typically, the full move, we don't usually go for that until like 6:40. So it's still kind of early. The market's still kind of doing what it was doing yesterday, guys. So it's pretty much just going back and forth. There's not really much of a direction here. So let me just mark up levels over here, of course, so we can kind of see where price is sitting at. Yeah, I mean, it's the same type of market as yesterday, which is kind of frustrating because we're like middle of fall right now. We don't really expect this type of movement to happen around this time. Usually it should be moving very directional. So see where we're at. Price is kind of just sitting around the middle area right here again. Opening price is right here. Pull back a bit. And now there's no entries at the moment. So it's not really the best time to take these market flow V2 entries, just like we talked about yesterday. The market's still kind of just going back and forth as we speak. And I mean, it looks like this position might be one of those where it ends up holding on for a while. We were really close to TP. So let's see, we were about like, we were only like 4 points away from TP, and then it ended up pulling back right here, back to basically entry. Yeah, I mean, this is the type of market that we're kind of just stuck in right now. So we got really close to TP up there. It's probably going to come down and come right back up. It's just there's not very much direction here. So like I said in the past, guys, if you're looking to take these market flow V2s, you don't really want to trade when price is going back and forth like this. If price is going back and forth like this, you probably want to stick to V1 variations because it's just there's just no direction. So like if you want to take market flow V2s, you want to make sure that market's actually flowing, right? Flowing to the upside, something like this, or in the opposite direction, the price is flowing to the downside like this. Right now, we don't really have that yet. So what I would probably recommend is if you guys are looking to take market flow V2s, wait for like some sort of confirmation. So for example, right here, price did come up a little bit, but I would recommend just waiting for it to come down and then push back up first. So like when it comes down for the second retest, then at that point right there, now look for entries for market flow V2s. But because price is kind of just sitting where it's at, it's better to just wait for like a second confirmation before you actually get in. Otherwise, you're just going to be stuck in the back and forth movement right here as price continues to bounce back and forth. So breakout's still running. Unfortunately, we're in profit right now, but it's still running. I was really hoping it was just going to push up a little bit more to hit TP right there, but it just ended up going into this range. So, I mean, again, right now, I'd probably just sit tight. I'm hoping this hits before 8 o'clock because I really hate holding on to positions outside of, my trading hours. So I'm hoping this thing comes back up. Again, it looks like it's having trouble getting like consistently past the sessions. This is what happened yesterday. If you guys remembered yesterday's entry, we got stuck at the sessions right here. And then it just kind of kept going back and forth between the sessions until it finally corrected back to the upside. Or whichever direction, it ended up going. But it's pretty much the same situation as like we were stuck in yesterday. Whenever price gets near the sessions, it typically gets kind of manipulated around this area. Sometimes it blasts right through, but it looks like right here, it hasn't really chosen a direction because you can see how market opened over down here, price came below it, then it came right back above it, then it came back below it, but it hasn't really pushed away from the session. So like really right here, you want to wait for price to really break above it and continue climbing higher. not just the spike, because you can see over here from earlier, price spiked below and then it spiked above. So it's just like one big candle down, one big candle up. You want to see something where price like breaks above it and then actually continues to climb up higher. Not just where it's like one or two candles that are super huge. But I mean, realistically, this is kind of what we would have expected for price here on the sessions. This is why we try to avoid trades around the sessions. Um, yeah, it looks like we're going to get a bit of a sideways market again today, just like yesterday. So here is the SRV2 chart. I'm going to go and mark up some zones over here. There isn't even any zones around this area. Price is so far off. All right, so let me just move this over down here. And I will move this up there. Let's go back to the 1 minute. Let's go back to the higher time frames, 30 minute actually. So it's actually within the 30-minute support right now. It's pretty far down. That's like sitting around this area here. Let's see. There's not too many zones here to kind of mark up. All right, so I mean, this is all I really have right now with regard to the zones. I guess we can clean this up and just mark up the smaller zones within. But price is technically right now within the 30-minute support. All right, looks like we'll be holding on to this for a while, guys. So here's the SR zones. You can see price is currently, it's a pretty big mess down here, but there's a bunch of support zones right here where price is currently sitting. So a lot of areas for price to kind of bounce off of. Um, the breakout's still running right now. So it looks like my apex entry, the entry wasn't super great. It was actually off by a few points. Um, it was off by a lot of points, actually, 16 points. My my actual entry for my personal account is actually perfectly fine. It looks like there might have been some slippage across the other accounts, but my actual entry was actually what, yeah, it's right on point, right below it actually, right here at 993. Looks like, yeah, it's mainly just Apex accounts that kind of slipped a little bit. So we got price hitting the liquidity right here. There goes the first levels of liquidity right there. If you guys took those levels. So I'm gonna clean up this level right here because that's pretty much done with. And we got price kind of sitting down here right now. If you guys are looking to take some market flow V2s, again, like I said, you probably want to wait for like some sort of confirmation. So you want to wait for price to kind of come down, retrace, come down, retrace, etc. Look for that second retest because it's probably going to pull right back into the range if it doesn't retest. Let's see, Daniel said on NinjaTrader, is there an entry setting for time on Quantar? I can set time of entry. Oh, that's cool. There probably is, but I haven't like looked around for it, Daniel. So there probably is an option for it, but I haven't really looked around. I'll probably look. It's actually a good question. Let me Google it right now. Uh, time entry, NinjaTrader. Oh, cool. Yeah, so it says, okay, cool. So there is a way to do it. I just would have to set it up. It's actually pretty smart. Cool. I'll take a deeper look into that later, but that's actually really smart. I didn't think about doing that. Um, yeah, Daniel said, yeah, I just have it set to 6:30 and set his buy sell 10 seconds before so it enters on the dot. Makes sense for the breakout entries. Yeah, no, I agree 100%. So I'll probably look into that a little later. Yeah, it's definitely something that would be useful in a situation like this, so I don't keep getting in at like kind of, random times. Um, yeah, the only issue I can think of would probably be that, when we flip the order, but like you said, like 10 seconds before is probably going to be best case scenario for us to make entry for that. All right, guys, the breakout's pretty much just sitting at entry right now. It's not really doing too much. It's kind of just sitting there as we wait for this here to actually move. Um, okay, so I guess we're just gonna wait here for a bit. Let me see if there's any news here for us. There's not really much news here, so there's not much of a catalyst really to push price around. We have Fed Harker speaking at 7 o'clock. We have low impact news right here for Richmond Fed Manufacturing Index, shipment index, and revenue index later at 7 o'clock too. There's not really too much going on today to cause catalysts in the market. Looking over here at CNBC, let's just refresh real quick. Yeah, nothing here either. All right, so price is climbing back up. The breakout's pushing right back up to where it's supposed to be. Let's see, Glenn said breakout should have hit immediately. I don't like the movement these past few days. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Glenn, 100%. I agree with you exactly. The breakout should be hitting right away. I mean, it almost hit right away right here, right? So we had like 5 minutes in and price was like only 4 points away from hitting its TP right here. Um, Obviously, you can see it pulled right back into like the entry point. But yeah, the breakout is supposed to hit right away. It's the whole point of the breakout, right? We're taking the breakout because we want our entries to hit almost immediately, like within the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes, etc., of open. But lately, for the past, we'll say past week or past, yeah, basically the past week or so, the market hasn't really been doing that. It's kind of just been going back and forth, which is really unusual for like mid-fall season because mid-fall season is prime time, right? This is usually where the market should be moving very directional. Typically, the market moves in season. So like from January up until say February, or we'll say from November, basically the holiday season. From November till January, it's usually kind of slow because we have Thanksgiving in November, we have Christmas in December, and we have New Year's in January. So like during that time period, a lot of people aren't trading because it's the holiday season. Between February and around June, that's usually where the market picks up because people are back to work, people are trading, it's more consistent, there's volatility in the market. Then from June up until September, it's usually kind of slow because people are on vacation for summer, right? Everyone's on summer break, everyone's taking summer vacation. And then from there, between September up until basically late October, it's usually supposed to be busy again because people are back at work. It's just like how the seasons work, right? The market moves just like how the seasons work. Um, when it's busy time for us here, like in real life, that's how the market's busy too. But lately, it just hasn't been like that. It's the market's been kind of changing a little bit. Not a lot, but like slightly. And it's just not as consistent as it was before. I think a lot of it has to do with like the presidency as well, because, like it doesn't really matter whether it's Democrat or Republican. Back before when Barack was president, there was a lot of change going on, in the government and in the economy and all over throughout the world. So when Barack Obama was president, we had like a very volatile market. And then after that, obviously moving to Trump, Trump was a very volatile market too because he was very big on relaxed regulation, and he was really big on tariffs. So like it was really big for the market. There was always something going on in the market. For this year, we have Biden. Obviously, it's like a dead market. It's super slow. It kind of reflects the presidency. You know, if the presidency is very slow and there's nothing going on during the presidency, the market kind of reflects that. So I'm hoping after this election, things are going to shake back up. You know, I don't really care who's going to win, whether it be Kamala or whether it be Trump. I'm just hoping that it picks up the market like it did in the past, because it really does reflect like whatever's going on in the world is going to reflect the market. And because the world's been kind of slow and quiet lately since, you know, Biden's been president, there hasn't really been too much consistency in the market. So, I mean, we'll see. We got elections coming up in a few weeks. The campaigning isn't as hard either. So like usually the campaign season causes a lot of volatility in the market because there's a lot of craziness going on, a lot of people trying to like uh put down the other candidate. But we just didn't have that this year. Of course, we have Kamala giving like cheap shots to Trump and Trump giving cheap shots to Kamala, but it's not like how it was before when Trump was first running, right? There was just a lot of craziness going on because a lot of the candidates were promising a lot of things for the economy and for the market that like whenever somebody would say something, the market would jump or it would drop or it would jump, it would drop. Um, right here, it's just kind of like very flat. And if you guys are curious to see like how the market moves, um, I mean, you can only just go back. Like you can go back to like the say the monthly chart or the daily chart, and you can kind of see how markets are moving during those presidencies. So there's not too much going on here. Like I said earlier, guys, you want to wait for some sort of confirmation before you start taking some market flow V2 entries. I know it's getting closer to 7 o'clock, which is kind of pushing it. But you can see here that price isn't really doing much. It's really just going sideways right now. We'll see if price starts to continue in a direction or not. So like, for example, if you're looking to take a market flow V2 for a sell, you want to see price come down, retrace, etc. You don't want to see price going back and forth like this. So this isn't the type of market that you're really looking for market flow V2s for any directional type strategy at that. You want to see price kind of climb up, retrace, climb up, retrace, climb up. For these sideways strategies, the strategies that you probably want to apply would be V1 variations, high-level momentum scalps, and CD patterns, which, you know, obviously we just don't have here right now. If I see a V1 variation pattern, I'll let you guys know. I just don't see anything here at the moment. Yeah, Rashida said she could see it sweeping 42,952, then running if it doesn't run here. Let's see, 42,952. The next level of liquidity, right? Yeah. I guess we'll see what happens. Personally, I think this thing's probably gonna go sideways for a while. So let's look at yesterday's market real quick. I gotta go too far off. So it did run yesterday, like kind of what Rashida mentioned, and then right here it just ended up going flat the whole time, right? Basically from 8 o'clock until market close, this thing just went super flat. I'm hoping that's not the case. I mean, right now it looks like this is the case right now where price is kind of just sitting flat, and then eventually it's going to move directional. But yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see. So the breakout is back in profit again. It's just kind of sitting at opening price, guys. There's not too much going on here. There we go. Price kind of pushes back into profit. But again, there's just no direction here. This is actually worse than yesterday. Yesterday, there was actually some, you know, it continued moving. Today, there's so what I need to happen here, like in order for me to get this bullish push, we need price to really push above the sessions right here. I think if it pushes up a little bit, so right now it's currently ranging within this area. If we get this to push up a little bit higher right here and it continues to range right here, then I think it's going to be ready for a further climb. It's kind of just sitting right here at at the liquidity basically. I mean, it's pretty much sweep this liquidity already at this time, but it's kind of flat. Let's see. Glenn said high level momentum scalp hit at 647. Yeah, this one right here hit, Glenn. So we had a lower low right here. This buy signal broken close past pivots 1 and 2. And that was an entry for a high low momentum scalp. Right. So price is kind of coming down a little bit right here to the next levels of liquidity below. I think this will probably be a fake out, and then it'll just pull right back into the range. So it looks like price is kind of just sitting where opening price is. This blue line right here is opening price. This is where market opened today. And it looks like it's going to fake out and pull right back into the range again. Yeah. And there he goes. It pulls right back into the range. So basically, if you look over here, price is kind of just sitting around this middle area. What you would look out for here are the fake outs in both directions. So like if price pulls down at all, um, look for price to fake out and swing back up. And then same with the opposite direction. If price pulls up at all, fake out back down, right? There's just not really too much going on here. Price just, I mean, the main place where price keeps pulling back to is going to be the opening price right here. What I can see here happening is because there's a lot of liquidity right here sitting, I think they're trying to lure in some sellers because the thing is there's no other targets down here. There's liquidity sitting right here, but the targets are, I mean, that's pretty much as far as it'll go, right? It'll pretty much just kind of sit right there. So what I see happening here, there's more liquidity like way down here, but I don't think price is going to drop this far. The reason why I don't think price is going to drop this far is because price was super bearish yesterday. So the thing is we need to have some sort of correction today. If you guys follow the market from yesterday, so if we go on the higher time frames, you can see price has been dropping since Monday right here, right? This is why I'm expecting some sort of correction. So let's go to the 1 hour chart. See how prices dropped so much from basically from Monday? On Monday, this is just way over extension for the sell side. So basically from Sunday over here, market open, prices dropped about 629 points. It's a lot of points for price to drop within like 2 days. And this is like a drop with no catalyst. Like there's no news that causes to drop. There was no interest rate news or anything like that. Nothing really happened to cause this drop right here. So this big drop happened from Sunday up until today, basically right now. And I'm expecting some sort of correction back to the upside. So what I'm seeing right here is I'm basically seeing price, or I'm seeing the market makers looking to lure in some sellers and then eventually correct it back up. Another reason for that's because so if you use the fundamentals, like looking at the fundamentals from today, there's like a big sell-off in the bonds market. So if people are selling off bonds, they're expecting the market to be doing better. So they kind of like they just move opposite of each other. So if people are buying bonds, then they're expecting the dollar to be weak and they're expecting market to be bad. But on Bloomberg, they pretty much announced that. And let's see if it's on here. I get the emails, but I don't know if you can find it on here because I pay for a subscription with Bloomberg. So I don't know if it's on here. See if I can search it. Bond market. Yeah. So this is basically the article that I read this morning. Not this one specifically, but basically indicated that the bond market was going down. So the bond market's going down. I'm expecting the stock market to go up. And that's just, part of the fundamentals. This doesn't really have a huge effect on our position, but the long-term direction of our position, because we are in a buy for the breakout, I'm expecting a correction back to the upside. So the fundamentals are there's just a lot of stuff that happens that will cause markets to kind of push around a little bit. And that's why, like for me, I'm expecting this here to be a fake out. They're just luring in sellers here and then a correction back up. The main thing is because of the oversold feature that's kind of came up from the big drop yesterday, of course. Let's see. Jason said, what do you think? I did think it would continue NAS from last week to have a pattern that's where it continues. I'm not sure. I don't look at NAS, Jason. I mean, I guess we can pull it up real quick. So, which pattern were you looking at over here for NAS, Jason? Because NAS moves a lot different compared to. I gotta answer this question real quick. Sorry, guys. I don't know what this is for. All right. Sorry, guys. Had to update my information for whatever reason. I've never had to do that before. It's weird. But yeah, I'm not sure what you're looking at over here, Jason, with regard to NQ. I mean, if you have some sort of analysis or something that you want me to look at, I can look at it, but I don't trade NQ, so I'm not sure which pattern you're looking at. And I'm not sure what time frame you're looking at either, because it looks like NQ's just been going sideways, like pretty much this whole month. Yeah, NQ is NASDAQ. So not sure what pattern you're looking at. If you want to go deeper into that, you feel free. But I'm not sure what you're looking at there specifically. For why I'm over here though, the price has been kind of bearish, so that's why I'm looking for price to swing back up. It's been bearish for the past 2 days. It's been bearish without catalyst, so that's like the main thing here. It's been bearish because there hasn't really been news to push price down like this. Kind of just came down a bit, so I'm looking for a correction. Obviously at some point. So let's go back to our main chart here. There's not really much here to look at, guys. So if you guys are looking to take some entries, I mean, feel free. I'll clean up this liquidity right here because it's pretty much untouched. If you guys want to take market flow V2s, feel free. Right there was another entry that came up. I would probably just go for these 10 points here. Now that we've kind of seen price kind of show some sort of pattern here of market flow, I would say it's fairly safe for you to take 10-point moves. So for example, another one right there hit for market flow V2. I would just be careful because eventually I think price is going to flip. So looking at this right here, if you're looking to take another entry would happen right here at the 980 mark. The thing that you want to be careful for here is because I mean, this thing can easily flip. So if you want to go in really quickly, I would just go in very quickly for like a quick 10 points. So if price is sitting right here, you'd look for price to come up, fill it, come back down quickly, and then just keep repeating the process as price continues to sit around this area. Looks like the price is trying to come down and touch the liquidity down here. We'll see for how long it holds. Let's see, Jason said talking about the pattern chart. What do you think the chart? Sorry, Jason, I'm like super confused about what you're talking about. You're asking what's you think from the charter pattern, RE, NAS, and US30? Are you talking about like the your AMD model that you're looking at? Sorry, I'm just like confused with your question, Jason. If you're talking about the AMD model, then you could say that and I can look at it, but I'm not sure which chart pattern you're talking about. Okay, so price here is starting to flip back up, and we'll see where this ends up going. If you're talking about the AMD model, let's see. So if you're talking about the AMD model, I would have expected this here to. So I would see Asia session range, London session manipulation, and then I would see New York session reversal. So market open right here at 6:30, came down super hard, reversal back to the upside. So if you're talking about the AMD model, I would expect this to be bullish. So there goes that big spike back up. Let's go to NQ real quick. If you're talking about, let's maybe do this again. Every time I go, sorry guys, 1 second. I just confirmed it. All right, never mind, guys. Sorry, guys. I'm not going to go back to NQ anymore. Every time I go to NQ, it makes me verify my information for some reason. So I'm not going to go to NQ anymore. I'll just stick on YM. But yeah, if you're talking about the AMD model, Jason, for me, I think today would have been a buy because we have this big drop right here, and then obviously, New York session reversal, reversal back to the upside. We got really close to our TP right here. We were off by like 4 points. So price came up right here. It was like literally about to tap it, and I was just ready to get out of the position, but it just ended up turning around. All right, so here goes the flip that I was just warning you guys about earlier. I said, price did confirm that it was kind of climbing down a little bit, but be careful for the flip back to the upside. Price now flipped above the opening price. This is kind of what I was hoping for to finally happen. Now that price is above opening price right here, and I'm hoping it stays up there. Now that price over here is currently at opening price, the next target is going to be the sessions right there. So let me turn off the levels real quick. So we're now above this point. I'm looking for a possible buy signal here to hopefully close. Once that buy signal closes, the next target is going to be the sessions right here. And once we have that, I'm going to be looking for some confirmation of market flow to the upside, of course. It was a big spike though. So this candle right here was a pretty big spike. Personally, I think they're just looking to wipe people out. So the thing is, like I said, they were luring in some sellers here, and then it looks like they spiked price up to basically wipe people out on the sell side, and then now they're spiking price right back down to wipe people out on the buy side. But I mean, realistically, there's no direction here. So if you go to the clean chart, there is so going to the clean chart over here, it's still just going sideways. Let's see, Daniel said maybe the Fed said something good. Let's go check the CNBC real quick. Any breaking news? Okay, there is. So there was breaking news right here. It says IRS announces new federal income tax brackets for 2025. IRS has unveiled higher federal tax brackets for 2025 to adjust for inflation. Standard deduction will increase to 30% for, or 30,000 for married couples filing together, 15,000 for a single taxpayer. There are also changes to the long-term capital gains bracket. So I guess this is what caused a spike. I mean, nothing really happened though. Price did spike up a little bit and then it just ended up going sideways. I'm hoping like the market's going to run with this data. Now that this data is out, they're probably going to, well, I'm hoping they're going to use that to swing it back up, of course, right? Um, Obviously the spike only happened for the people who, because this literally was just released a few minutes ago. So I'm hoping that the market runs with this data and it just continues to climb up even higher. So that's pretty good. I mean, it's a good thing here that it's going to work in our favor with the tax brackets. Yeah. I mean, for a lot of the thing that's crazy about this is that like it only affects people who are working like a W-2 job, right? Because if you're a business owner, you guys know how like the tax game works. Like for me, I could be making like 1 million gross, and then I'll just have a bunch of write-offs and deductions to kind of make it seem like, well, not make it seem, but like realistically, that's kind of how you make it, you bring it down a little bit. Um, Yeah, like COVID year, I think 2020, 2021. I wasn't really too familiar with the tax game very much. And I was like in the highest tax bracket and I had to pay like a shit ton in taxes. And then I started to learn more about taxes and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, this stuff is beneficial for people who work like W-2 jobs. Like, say, for example, if you're a lawyer or a doctor or a CEO or something like that, and you're not a business owner, odds are they probably are familiar with this stuff anyways. But this does help people who just work like a regular 9 to 5 job or people who fall within these brackets. But usually if someone's making this kind of money, like over half a mil annually, then they're typically going to know someone or they're going to have a good CPA that's going to kind of knock this down a little bit. So yeah, it's beneficial, but we'll see if this helps with our position. Obviously this will help long term, but for the most part, um, the the direction here with our position is still kind of flat. So here's our breakout position, guys. It's just still sitting around opening price or entry. And I'm hoping that the market runs with that data and it climbs up higher. It looks like it is climbing up higher because price did actually close above now. So we're like consistently above the opening price here. The next target that I need price to reach is going to be the sessions right here. So I need price to maybe spike up a little more, then sit up here for a little bit, and then from there push up higher and hit our TP hopefully. Otherwise, it's just going to be another hopefully bigger range. Right, so here's our clean chart, guys. The range I was talking about earlier, I mean, price is still technically within the range. If you want to look at the range here, the range is really like between these points, right? Price still been sitting within this range right here. Um, so we'll see what happens here. All right, so we got price climbing back up. There's our breakout. It's currently in profit about 25 points. Let's get to that 50-point mark and then higher, of course. I mean, really, we're just going to use we don't really have to even go back to here. We already know the target. So we really want price. The first target price point is going to be sessions right here. It's already past opening price. So the next target price point is going to be the Asia low. And then from there, obviously, to the next level of liquidity right here. Let's go to our SR chart. So our SR chart over here, yeah, I mean, it looks good. We kind of want price to break above these zones right here. Obviously, first target's going to be right there. Our first real target. So we got a couple targets here. We have the SR target right there from the SR charts. We have the for the levels chart over here. the next target price point is going to be the next whole number, which will be the 50 mark right there. So we got a lot of targets in the same direction. This is our clean chart. We wanted to make it to this whole number here, 43,050. For the SR chart, we wanted to hit the level over here slightly above 43,055. And then on our main chart here, our target price point is going to be the session right here, which is at 43,042. So it's kind of like about around the same area. All of our targets are kind of around the same area if we're looking for target price point. Session's going to be right there. Whole number is going to be right there. And the SR zone is going to be right there. But it looks like the volatility here is kind of flat again. So we might just get another sideways move here. I mean, this is really just the direction. It's a frustrating market for, I mean, really for like all traders, depending on, it doesn't really matter how you're trading. Even if you're trading sideways, it's kind of frustrating because it's not a smooth sideways move. It's a choppy one. So here we are back at opening price. All right, let's see if there's any other catalysts here that could really push price around. CNBC, no other breaking news for today. All right, so let's read this real quick. So stocks dropped for a second day as rising yields weigh on sentiment. So stocks fell for a second day Tuesday as an uptick in interest rates overshadowed a solid start to earnings reporting season. I'm just going to skip through a lot of this stuff that's kind of like, basically, I'll just give you a little summary. So basically it says that like, what's happening here is that the Fed isn't really looking to cut rates like it did for September. Like September, we had a half cut. They're not expecting to have another cut this month or next month. It's going to slow down. So the cuts aren't really going too high. There's earnings for Coca-Cola Wednesday, Honeywell on Thursday. It's not really going to be too much of an effect for us, but that's kind of what's happening. Just a lot of Fed speakers happening this week. If you look over here at the news for this week, we have Fed Harker speaking today. We have Fed Bowman speaking tomorrow. We have Fed Barkin speaking tomorrow as well. We got Fed Hammock speaking on Thursday. It's basically a Fed member speaking pretty much every day this week, basically confirming that they're not expecting many cuts to happen or any cuts to really happen for November and December. The last breaking news here for the stock market basically updates was 45 minutes ago. So basically 45 minutes ago on market open, stocks open lower, stocks open red on Tuesday. And that's basically it. So with that said, let's go back to the charts. There's nothing on Bloomberg, so nothing for us to really follow here. Yeah, there's no breaking news here at all. All right, back to the charts. So nothing's really happening here. Price again is below opening price. So unfortunately, our hopes for price to reach the sessions has kind of died down a little bit. There's not really too much going on here. Price is right back to where it was earlier. So the news happened right here with the new federal tax brackets. Price pushed up a little bit. We are hoping price was going to bandwagon onto that direction, but no, price is right back to where it was earlier. So it's like the news never really happened. It's right back down here to the middle. So back to our clean chart. You can see here there's still no direction though. So if you're looking to take some market flow V2s, I would probably hold off on it. The only thing I would look for here would probably be like V1 variations and high-level momentum scalps. So I don't really see anything here right now, of course. Nothing here from the SR chart. Take this off again. See if there's more zones down here. So there is a zone down here actually. All right, it kind of just evened out the range. So I mean, if you were to take off these zones right here, even this zone, this is pretty much the range right here if you're looking at the SR zones. Not much really going on, just back and forth between this area right here. All right, so now that we have that, there's nothing really to work with here. Yeah, the main thing to look for would be the V1 variation pattern. So like, for example, right here, this is a CV pattern. I mean, obviously, if you guys saw that, it happened very quickly. CV pattern filled in right there. For these V1 variation and CV patterns, these are reversal patterns. Whenever you see these types of patterns here, it typically is going to indicate that price is going to reverse the other way. You can see over here, we had a low with the red candle. This candle following it was a smaller candle. It's basically like an engulfing candle pattern. And this just indicated that price was going to push up. And that's what happened there. If you're looking to take these entries, again, the two main entries I would focus on would be V1 variation. I'll put them right here. Main sideways strategies to apply. V1 variation. I mean, you can apply any of the V variations. So V1 variation, V2 variation, V3 variation. Consolidation. Or high-low momentum scale. These are really the main strategies to apply during these types of markets. The thing with this is that this is good when you know the market's supposed to be slow. Like, for example, if you're trading in the summer, you're trading in the winter, you know the market's going to be slow and it's going to go sideways. So you know to apply these. The problem with applying these strategies here is that they're good until they're not, right? Because right now we're supposed to be in a directional market. So the thing is, you can apply sideways strategies here, but once price finally breaks out of the sideways move, then you're going to be kind of screwed, right? Because obviously at that point, price can be directional and you're going to be taking these sideways entries that you shouldn't be taking. Not to say that these are going to flop out, because even if you were to take, so for example, if price was to climb to the upside, you could still take V1 variations whenever price retraces back down. So you're not necessarily completely out of luck if you're taking these sideways strategies, but once it starts to really move a direction, it's going to be tough to, because you're probably going to eat a couple losses. Hopefully by that point you've ate a couple wins, and you're going to be able to hold your ground even though price does start to move directional. But again, guys, there's no direction here. So let's go back to our breakout. Breakout is just sitting around the entry point right here. This is going to be one of those entries that we pretty much hold on to for like the next like, 4 or 5 hours. Hopefully not that long, but it seems like this is going to be one of those days where it just ends up going sideways for quite some time. So again, if you guys want to take any sideways entries, these are the strategies to apply. And I'll put the strategies over here for the directional strategies too. So I mean, directional strategies to apply whenever market starts going directional. Market flow V2, momentum, pullback scalp, pivot scalp, levels. I mean, there's a lot of strategies here. There's way more strategies for directional versus sideways. Momentum scalp. These are just a few to name. So yeah, obviously when price starts to move directional, you can go back to like the market flow V2s, momentum pullback scalps, pivot scalps. A lot of these entries are pretty much very similar. They're just different entry points. Right now the market's still going sideways, so obviously these are the main ones to kind of focus on at the moment. So, all right, let's clean this up a little bit. Oops. Most of you guys already know, so not much there to work with. All right, so we got another buy signal here. Let's see if this is finally going to be the direction that we're looking for. We're pushing above the opening price. Again, we're going to look for this here to close and then hopefully make its, and as soon as I said that, price came back down. Yeah, there's not really much here to work with, guys. So we do have a buy signal pending right there. Buy signal just closed. It was invalid. We'll see if price still decides to climb up even though it's been invalid. Now we're back again at basically entry point. And now we wait. Okay, so now that price is pushing up above the sessions right here. Let's see if it finally closes. Once it closes, then again, I'll kind of show you guys the areas that we're looking for. Here's a good thing here, though. So we have more liquidity sitting above here now. So we do have liquidity sitting right there. There's liquidity also down here, but what really matters is the liquidity above. So if and when price does climb up higher, there's actually some good levels here for price to reach up to. So the thing um, that I'm looking at here really is that we have a double liquidity sitting where the target's currently for the breakout. So if price does climb up, it's going to have some good targets here to reach to. So if it breaks above opening price, first level of liquidity is going to be right here. Next target is going to be the sessions. And then, of course, this upper level right here, if when price gets to that point. Of course, we do have liquidity down below as well, but the liquidity up here is what we're aiming for. All right, so nothing going on here again, guys. Price is just going to sit right down here, and I guess we'll wait. Again, I just don't recommend you guys take any market flow V2s. I'll call out market flow V2s if I see them, but again, I just don't think it's a good time to enter these market flow V2s. There's another entry that happened right here, it looks like. So price, the sell signal came down right here. Entry would have happened at this point. So like I said before, if you're going for the 10 points, you're probably going to hit your TPs because the thing is price is ranging so hard that even if you end up getting caught in a sideways market movement, it's going to eventually come down and hit your TP. As long as you have enough of a safety net for your stop loss. So if you're looking to take some market flow V2s, again, you would just wait for another sell signal here to come up. But you just want to be careful because, like, for example, right here, this news event that came out, this here would have stopped you out. So looking over here at the market flow V2s, there was like one loss right here, but there's a bunch of wins. So price came down, retraced up, entry would happen right there. That'd be a win. So basically, if you're like just dipping into these market flow V2s and you're just pretty much taking what you can get, you'll have a lot more wins and losses. So you're going to be able to balance out. You just have to be actively trading it though. So that's another thing that you got to keep in mind. When you're taking these market flow V2 entries, you have to actively be trading it because the thing is, whenever market starts to flip or you get an opposite signal, you're supposed to pull out of that position, of course. So, all right, looks like looks like we're getting a buy signal here. It's starting to look a lot better or not. Seems like every time we get that really nice buy signal that comes up, it just bounces directly off the opening price. So the good thing with this here is that we're starting to get a squeeze. Now that I'm seeing price here, it's starting to squeeze pretty tight. So now that it continues to squeeze right here, it's preparing for a breakout, right? I'm hoping the breakout pushes above and then finally starts climbing. But price is definitely starting to squeeze here. The candles are getting smaller and they're starting getting to they're just squeezing tighter and tighter as price moves along. So we'll see what we got here. But Again, there's just nothing here to work with. SR chart price is just sitting within the middle right here. I don't see any yeah, there's nothing here. I don't see any V1 variation patterns. I don't see any CV patterns. Don't really see much of anything. So let's see, even if price does come down to this liquidity down here, the next level of liquidity is like super far below. So you'll have a ways to go. So the support level right here looks pretty strong. I mean, price has kind of just been sitting around this area. Price keeps trying to test this area of support, but I mean, I guess it has been testing it right here. It's currently in the level of support. But let's see. So this has been 4 tests already so far. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it looks like the support level here might be. So what I would see here, and this is just off my analysis and things that I've seen in the past. So like basically whenever support gets tested like this, if it continues to get tested, what usually happens is price will break below, it'll wipe the liquidity, and then it'll fake out and come right back up. So I mean, it's been trying to get down here for a while now. There's a couple different patterns that I typically see when I see this come up. So either this happens right here where price kind of sweeps down below, takes out the liquidity, and that's kind of what's happening right there. And then it fakes out back to the upside, or price just kind of tests it right here, and then it just pushes back up immediately. But I mean, for the most part, there's not really too much going on right here at the moment. So what I look out for here is probably the fake out and the swing back to the upside. So it's actually at the whole number right there now. So what I'd like to see here is a V1 variation pattern. You guys can see price over here rejected. It's basically a wick rejection off the whole number right here, the 42,950 mark. If this candle here closes green, then you'd get a V1 variation pattern, which is a reversal pattern. And then I'd like to see that, obviously climb back up from here, back into the range or even higher from there. Candle's got about 20 seconds left on it. All right, let me clean that up. Just clean this chart up a little bit. So no V1 variation pattern right there. Possibly on the next candle. No V1 there either. It's not on the same level. All right, so again, we're just kind of waiting to see how price reacts to this level right here. All right. Man, I think this is like one of the slowest markets we've kind of dealt with in a while. At least yesterday, price started moving directional a bit, but today and there we go at the fake out as it pulls back into the range over here. Yeah, yesterday price was actually moving a bit directional. So we had like the range for a bit and then price broke below and started climbing right here. So there's a markup that I drew. It's pretty much just doing what I mentioned as it climbs back up. Ideally, of course, I'd wanted to push up to here, but it's probably just going to pull into the range right here and sit down the middle. Um, Actually would have been better off if it came down and sweep the entire liquidity down here, but it's all good. So I'll clean this up a little bit. There's just another liquidity there now. All right. So nothing going on here. Let's check the news again. I thought we already looked at that. They updated again. So they just updated it. Um, it's just a little more detailed. So basically, I don't know why they changed it, but they took off all the details. There was more details on the last post, and they kind of just took off the details. Now they just kind of they catered it to like the more of individual versus like the higher earners. It's all right. So basically, they just updated this, and when they updated it, it slightly moved a little bit price. So here goes, price climbs back up. Again, the target price point here is going to be the opening price. Ideally, we want price to be up there. Once price reaches that point, again, we're going to look for price to push up, hit liquidity right there, and then retest the sessions, and then hopefully come up and hit our TP. Going back to our entry over here for the breakout, nothing's really happened very much. Price is still sitting around here, opening price. So yeah, this is going to be one of those days. Like we haven't had one of these days in a while, but I think this is going to be one of those days where we hold on to the position for a very, very, very long time. So I think we're going to be in this position for quite some time. I'm still going to cut off from the live session at 8 o'clock, guys. I'll be giving you guys updates from my phone. So what I'll be doing is I'll leave my laptop on, of course, so that my copier can still execute the trades. And then I'll probably be executing, or I'll be following it from my phone, basically. This is very similar to what we were stuck in. We were in a position like this. It was a long time, not a long time ago. It was like maybe a couple of weeks ago. So the last time we were in a position like this, let's see. Usually our breakouts hit right away. So like, I mean, if you guys have been following, um, these entries they're usually pretty good, and they hit right away. So this one over here, this one went on until like about 9 o'clock. So this one wasn't as long. This is kind of similar in the situation that we're in right now. So this actually looks exactly like our entry today. So this is from October 7th. Basically right here, price went into our profit. It like literally almost hit our TP right there. It was off by a few points. And then it went into some drawdown, and it kind of just sat down the middle for a bit. And then eventually it came back in our direction and hit our TP at like 9 o'clock. So this looks exactly like our entry from today, right? So if you look at our setup from today, it went really close to our TP, and then it kind of pulled back a little bit, and now it's sitting at opening price. That's exactly what happened on October 7th over here, right? So this is kind of what I'm hoping to happen today. Of course, I'm going to just hold the position and let it do what it needs to do. There's another day where we had a similar position that kind of played out, but it went on for even longer. So I think it was in September. Usually these entries hit right away. So you can see over here, they hit within the first couple minutes. Like we usually don't have to wait very long. But today's just one of those days where we're ending up holding on to the position for a very long time. So here's the other position. This is September 26th. Kind of same situation here. Price kind of went close to TP. It pulled back, and then it continued climbing. This one didn't hit until like almost 12 o'clock. So it's 7 o'clock right now. We still have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have about 5 hours until market close. So I think this is going to be one of those positions. Unfortunately, I don't really like holding on to the positions like this, but I'm going to have to for today. The last two times we had this was on October 7th, and then the last time before that was on October 26th. Thankfully, the trades hit in our favor both times. So I'm hoping this here is going to be the same situation, right? Where price ends up kind of just sitting there, but eventually it does climb up and hit our TP. It's just going to take some time until it does. And I mean, basically, I'm just going to let my trade run until it hits those points. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's been a while since we've been in a position like this, but there's not really too much here to work with. I'm really hoping that because price has been so oversold right now, that there's going to be some sort of a rift to pretty much pick up our price and just climb price to the upside. Right now, price is down here. So from this distance up until, okay, so from here up until our TP, it's not really that far if you think about it. It's only off by like 112 points. It seems like a long way to go, but it's really not that far if you think about it. Once we have some sort of directional push, typically once the price starts to move directional, we'll have like at least a 20-point move like almost every couple 30 minutes or so. And then that should be enough to pretty much reach that area. So hopefully within the next 5 hours, we'll reach that point. Otherwise, the positions are going to get liquidated before we reach the end of the day. So I'll be holding on to the position until like probably maybe we'll say around like 12:30. As we get closer to this 12:30 mark, some changes are probably going to have to be made, or closing out of the position early with profit, of course. So let me check the calendar real quick. There's nothing else really going on today. So the Fed already spoke at 7 o'clock. At 8:30, we have the 42-day bill auction. At 10 o'clock, we have money supply. And then at market close, we have API crude oil stock change. This isn't going to affect us because market will be closed already by that time. And we really just have not much else here to affect the price movement. The good thing is that we have the tax bracket news that came out right here a few minutes ago, or like about 30 minutes ago. And this is going to be beneficial for our position because the longer term push of the position is going to be bullish. So we got price finally pushing up to the upside right here, guys. Our breakout is back into profit right here, as you guys can see. I'm hoping we start to have a continuous push based off the news that happened about 30 minutes ago with that tax bracket stuff. We're now above opening price. So again, the first target price point that I'm hoping price to reach for is going to be the sessions right there. And then, of course, our TP up here. So our breakout's back in profit. This might be one of those. Again, see, Layla's asking, can we hold the trade with Apex? What do you mean by that, Layla? So hold it. Do you mean hold it overnight? Do you mean hold it right now? Hold it for how long? If you could just like give a little more detail on that. Because I'm holding the position until it hits TP, but you can't hold it you can't hold it past the what's it called? Past the day. So you can't hold it overnight. No, you can't. So your trade gets automatically liquidated at the end of the day. That's pretty much how all futures trades work. Like you can't hold any futures trade until past the next day. So you can hold on to it until like about let's see, until about I don't know what time Apex liquidates, but it's gonna be around like 12:30 to 1. So between 12:30 and 1, wherever your position's at, it's gonna close out your position wherever it's sitting. So ideally, it would be better to just close it out wherever it's at, because it's going to close you out either way. Yeah, overnight is considered after 1 p.m. Lila, that's because the market closes. So the market closes for like about an hour and then it opens back up. But whenever it closes, that's considered overnight. Overnight's not like actual nighttime. Overnight means into the next trading day. Yeah, I know it sucks. It's just how the futures market works. The forex market was different. You can hold on to it pretty much overnight, or we say overnight, but it's not really overnight. It just means into the next day. For the forex market and the indices market, you can hold on to it past that time. But for the most part, for futures markets, It's because of the regulation. So, I mean, it's just how the market works. And it's the rules that we have to abide by. All right, so we're now having this bullish push right here. We're getting closer and closer to 8 o'clock, guys. So I'm getting closer to my sign-off time. If there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. Let's see. Rashida said it swept that area perfectly. You guys should be clean and clear now. Yeah, exactly. So now that it swept the liquidity down here, it's starting here like to push up a bit higher. So this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, guys. I was like saying price is probably going to come down here to sweep the liquidity, like whatever was sitting down here, lure in the sellers, and then come right back up. The next target here is going to be, of course, the Asia low, and then the next level up there. So the breakout's back in profit, guys, right there. It's pushing up. It's about 50 points in profit, looks like almost halfway. And again, I'm just going to let the trade run. So it just hit liquidity right here. Now that it's hit liquidity, we'll see if it ends up continuing or if it ends up going the other direction. Let's see, Barack said I've always set it to 1:14 p.m. I'll try and adjust to see how it looks like. Yeah, it depends on the broker. I think the official cutoff time is like 1:30. That's usually like where all the futures market is completely shut off. But some brokers they'll liquidate earlier because if they wait till the last minute, especially for something like Apex, right? If Apex they have like, I'm pretty sure they have like almost like they should have at least close to 1 million clients. You think about that, closing out 1 million accounts at once, that's a lot of accounts. So I think they kind of leave a little gap in between so they can just liquidate everyone probably like 30 minutes before. Same with the brokers. I mean, with the brokers, it's all automated. It's just with these other companies, they have to kind of get everybody out. Because what happens a lot of times is you'll get a big spike at the last couple of minutes of market. All right, guys, it's getting close to 8 o'clock. So right here, we're starting to have that bullish push. And my first target price point is going to be the sessions right here. That's where I want price to push. Once it pushes past that area, further on to the TP. Looking over here at our clean chart. So the clean chart did exactly what I marked up here. So if you guys saw earlier, I marked up this lower level and I said, okay, price is probably going to fake out from this level right here, the 950, and it's going to push up. This 950 over here lined up with pretty much with Rashida's liquidity that we marked up below. It pretty much just lined up perfectly. So I try to use different types of catalysts here. So for the main chart here, we use liquidity for catalyst. For the clean chart, I use the whole numbers for catalyst. You can see over here, it's a 950 mark. And then for the S-star chart, I use support level for catalyst. So you guys see how we have like different catalyst levels here. This is beneficial when you can kind of analyze things from a different perspective because some people like to trade support and resistance. So that's why we use this. Some people like trading whole numbers because they think these are psychological numbers. That's why I use this as well. And then on top of that, we have our liquidity over here, which will be falling under liquidity sweeps. A lot of people like to use. So there's just a lot of different things here that we use that's beneficial to us, in a lot of different ways. I try to give you guys a full spectrum of like how the market's moving because, some people like to trade price action by itself. Some people like to trade support resistance. Some people like to trade supply and demand. They're all kind of the same. You can see over here, the price here kind of lines up with the prices that I have on the other points. Like we have liquidity down here. It lines up with the whole number, which was down there. And then same with the support right here as well. So price is finally pushing up pretty nice. Our breakout is now more than 50 points in profit. It's currently 60 points in profit now. And it's on its way to our target price point. So it's above the sessions now, it looks like. And we just got a little more of a way to go right there. So I think I'm gonna leave it at that, guys. If you guys have any questions, looks like the majority of you guys already signed off for the day, which makes sense. I'm gonna keep my trade running, so I'll keep you guys updated. I just don't think there's any reason for us to kind of just hang around. This is probably gonna stress people more. stress people out more having to wait for this here to kind of play through. So what I would recommend is if you guys don't have to trade or if you guys are in a position you're getting stressed out, I would just walk away from the computer. That's kind of what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go take my dogs for a walk. And then hopefully by the time I get back, like in the next 30 minutes or so, it'll hit RTP. I have my alert set up so it'll alert me when it hits, and then I'll be checking on my phone, but I'll be leaving my laptop on for the trade because I need it on for my copier. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any more questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, the breakout is still currently running in profit. It's pushing up a bit higher, and we'll just wait for this here to continue pushing up. So I'm going to log off for now, call it a day for the moment, but I will give you guys updates in the chat regarding the entry. So hopefully in the next 30 minutes or so, it's going to push up and hit. Like I showed you guys the entries from last week over here on October 7th. This thing hit around 9 o'clock. So I'm hoping it hits around that time too. If it doesn't, that's completely fine. The last time we held on to a position past 9 o'clock, the entry hit around 12. So either way, the breakout's still running. And I'm hoping it hits within the next couple hours or so. Obviously, I don't want to hold it till liquidation. I just want it to close out before then. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session. Check the Zoom chat for the updates, guys. I'll post the update whenever it ends up, pushing in the direction that we want it to, and then I'll give you guys the closing remarks from there. So. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. And if you guys don't have to trade, stay out of the market. If you guys are still in the breakout, I'll keep you guys updated on the